Hey everybody, it's Triple L, and hey, welcome to my My Hero Academia chapter 200, my thoughts, my impressions, and yeah, just a general talky video. Anyway, this week is the 200th chapter of Hero Academia, and well, unfortunately, it is a 11-page chapter. Now, that's not really too bad in like the long run of things. Like, I've heard tell that according to author comments, it's an issue of, well, it's been addressed in the author comments from what I've heard. I do not know the reason. I have not read the comments myself yet, but it is something that's there. 11 pages though, not bad, because we know that the manga industry is maybe not the best working environment. We know that extreme measures have been taken. We know that over the course of time, a lot of people fall ill and a lot of people just can't do it. We have still the big standout of the World Trigger manga series being put on hiatus because of illness. You know, it's probably there might be a good reason for why there's such little pages this week, or in general for Hero Academia. Whenever this happens, I am gonna err on the side of caution and hope that the author is in good health. In good health, and everything is going okay. That said, 11 pages that we got this week were pretty cool. One thing that I definitely come out thinking is that it does seem in a lot of ways that Class 1B's quirks are super overpowered. Maybe not the first group seemed overpowered, although air barriers kinda seem overpowered, but this group seems to be the really dangerous group. And Kendo is probably the most underpowered among them, but it seems like what the author wants to sell us on is that Kendo is the one who is able to mobilize people the best. So it's really interesting. I know that the chapter title was playing off the idea of a general, and that does seem to be how it's going to be working out here. That said, like when you look at the quirks on Class 1B's side, aside from Kendo's, you have Vanta's, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty much the ability to control everything that's black and then moving. It's pretty much a really easy teleportation quirk, kind of. It's like it's a really good stealth quirk, as long as the conditions are appropriate. Mind you, Class 1A's side also has Dark Shadow, and Dark Shadow is a very overpowered quirk as well, depending on the conditions. So those two, like in powers, like they seem like they could kind of level the playing field, but then it's the other people who are involved, right? Class 1A's side has Naval Laser, which is already a self-damaging quirk, so already, you know, Aoyama is at a bit of a power disadvantage. And then we have Hagakure, whose quirk is based on stealth and light emanation or light refraction. Those two powers by themselves are not that strong, at least not overtly strong in the way that the other two quirks introduced here or revealed here are. For instance, the onomatopoeia thing, that was a pretty interesting one. I feel like that's like the same power that was present in JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable, I believe, from Koichi. But I don't remember the series really well, so I can't say for sure. But the power itself, there's not a size limit on the things that the kid can make. And then it has really good synergy with the girls. I forget her name. The Mushroom Girls power. Which, you know, the Mushroom Girls quirk is pretty cool too. But the area of effect is, I think, what ultimately makes that one kind of terrifying, because it seems like it's spreading really quickly. I did love the touch that the author put in there to say that she's spraying the air with some water, just, you know, just to say, hey, she's making it more humid. But the team play there between her and manga is really good. So I really enjoyed that part. And again, like the scene of him making the giant humidifier type sound and then the humidity just making the mushrooms go faster was a pretty neat move. But between those two, they just are able to take up so much space, and I think that's what's getting me. In terms of space control, those two seem to be really overpowered. Just because manga can produce these really big letters, and then the other girl can just spread her mushrooms everywhere. I do wonder if she can spread poisonous mushrooms. There's really nothing saying that she can't. I wonder if there's a thing like she has to take in the spores before she can start producing spores herself. That'd be very interesting. It'd be kind of like Sun Eater in a way, because Sun Eater, he's able to produce things that he eats, and if they're still in his system. So I'd be kind of interested to see if that's kind of how it works for her as well, if she needs to have a sample of the spore on her. Now, we talk about overpowered quirks, but at the end of the day, Momo has a really overpowered quirk. Alright, so like that's not even a question mark. And the thing is, this chapter, I was reading it while keeping in mind the things I said for the previous chapter, and I'm just saying, my general claim was like, yeah, if Momo can keep her head together, she's probably gonna do well. And this chapter kind of still is correct. That statement is still kind of correct with this chapter. I did have a few moments where I was like, oh well, okay, maybe Kendo's onto something, maybe she's got something. But then you had Todoroki coming in there as a narrative device and pretty much just singing the praises of this girl. Now mind you, I do not think Momo has been given enough screen time to justify some of the hype that was given to her manga wise. I don't know, I don't recall the events of the anime original episode, but she has not been given enough events here. Tsuyu has been given technically more events than Momo has, I believe. It'd be a hard count, but I think Tsuyu has a significant leg up on Momo in terms of screen time. That said, Momo's also the one who produced a GPS chip with a head injury. So you know what, maybe things kind of like even out here, but the point is that Momo's always thinking. That's something that they are constantly hitting on in this chapter, and while Momo is being attacked by Kendo, she is still thinking. And that's really just the crux of the problem. It really doesn't matter if Kendo was to come up and make all these different plans. Kendo was really smart in trying to attack Momo as fast as possible, but Todoroki threw in a comment that if they were really worried about Momo, they would have taken her out with all of their force right there. And we gotta kind of wonder, why exactly is that statement made? Because flat out, we should expect that Momo's expertise isn't combat. And so Kendo going in there, separating Momo, and then also dealing with Momo in a close range scenario, we have no reason to believe that Momo is good at hand-to-hand combat. So that might have been a really good move on her part, but that the versatility of her quirk is a significant problem. And because Momo has proven that she can think and produce under stress, it doesn't really matter that Kendo came and approached her. If she's unable to knock Momo out within the first minute, it's a good chance that Kendo's in trouble, because by that point Momo has probably thought up of what device could probably deal with this whole scenario or deal with this whole problem. And another thing is, I think that Class 1B might have gotten overconfident, because they might have gone in with the idea that if they separate Momo from the rest of the class, or from the rest of the team, that they might have a significant advantage against the remaining people. And that might be true. I would think they would have a significant advantage against Aoyama and Hagakure, maybe because we just haven't seen her enough. But Tokoyami might be a problem to say that they'd have a significant advantage against him, because he is another one of the people that has significant experience that we know of for sure. I mean, he worked with Hawks. Among Class 1A, he's the only other person that did an internship aside from the kids that were off doing the stuff with Overhaul. So there might be a nice little moment here where we get, or like Class 1A reminds Class 1B that the other members of Class 1A are competent. It's not just Momo. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out, because I still think either party could take it. It really depends on how quickly Momo gets subdued. Although right now, like, you know, the thing about Momo is that she can replicate the majority of Class 1A's quirks if she really needed to. Like, she may not be able to use them as naturally as other people can, but she can replicate to a good degree. Like I said, she can make flashbangs and grenades if she needs to replicate Bakugo's powers. Not that hard to do. She can make a taser, most likely, if she needs to, right? While she doesn't have the accessibility to those abilities as, say, Bakugo does, because Bakugo can combine his physicality with it, she can, at the very least, after observing a lot of her classmates, use whatever property she wants to in a way that her classmates would use it. Like, pretty much, if she observed her classmates like doing something specific with their power at some point, she could most likely try and replicate that kind of use here. Thing is, like, Momo can make a cannon, right there in front of the girl. And like, there's really no ways to deal with that. Thing is, Momo can make a gun and shoot her right there, right now. And there's really no way for Kendo to deal with that. There's a lot of ways that Momo could win this, honestly. And I think it's funny. It's these moments that are really funny here because there's nothing stopping Momo from killing Kendo other than the fact that this is a friendly competition, right? Like, because otherwise, Momo can make a gas mask and then make a gas bomb. There's nothing stopping her from doing that, and that's totally within the realm of possibility. So I'm really excited to see what happens next week. My biggest hope would be that maybe, you know, Momo produces a technology that is Hero Academia exclusive, and by that I mean it's like a technology that we don't have in our world. Like, because, you know, cannons and GPSs, we have that, but it would be really cool if she has like maybe blaster gauntlets that she just learned how to make from Hatsune Miku, right? That would be really cool. Like, she went to Mei and be like, hey, I need some really cool equipment. Could you show me how you make it? And then I can just kind of replicate it based on your blueprints. And we know she can do that given the fact that she made a GPS system with you know, the GPS and the transceiver chip or the receiver chip, right? She's done it before, so there's no reason to believe she can't do it now. So I would love to see something like that. Like, if she made even a replica of Izuku's blaster goggles, or not blaster goggles, what am I thinking? Blaster gloves. Like, is that the right thing to call it? But yeah, you know, Momo is a character of potential and possibility, and her ability to produce highly complex designs under stress has already been tested. We know she can do it. So this is really exciting. The big thing again is just Kendo's too close to Momo. So we need to see how Momo kind of deals with that little bit of a problem. But technology-wise, tool-wise, she has everything she needs right there. So overall, I'm leaving this chapter very excited. I hope next week is a strong chapter. I hope we get to see some pretty cool quirk interactions, and I hope we get to see Hagakure do something. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Guys, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.